Hi, welcome back to the channel. So today we're kindly joined by Tim Eaton, who is Seed Product Manager for Certis Belchim. Tim, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So what we're going to talk about today, we've got a few growers now who are asking us about supplying cereal seeds without any fungicide-based treatment on them. Tim is here to go over some of the associated risks with that over multiple generations. So Tim, thinking about wheat seed more specifically, what are some of those associated risks?
So if we think about a disease like bunt, then we almost have a whole generation of farmers here in the UK that have never seen bunt on their farms, whereas 50 years ago that would have been commonplace, and many growers would have been familiar with that nasty rotten fish smell that you get from those bunt balls that replace the seeds in the ears. But because of the robust seed treatments that we've had in the UK for many years now, growers have been completely covered for that. So if you start taking those seed treatments out of your process, then you become, you expose yourself to the risk of bunt. But of course you can test your seed. So if you're doing home safe seed and considering not using a seed treatment, you can of course get your seed tested for bunt, fusarium, etc. So that's good practice to do that. But you should also bear in mind that seed treatments cover you not only for seed-borne disease, but also soil-borne disease. So something like Microdochium navale can be soil-borne. 52% of UK soils carry it. So you're greatly increasing your risk of getting seedling blight from that, which can then lead to crop effects, lower yield, etc. But also grain quality, mycotoxins building up in the harvested crop. So you're opening yourself up to some risks there.
And what kind of products would be have a good efficacy against all of those?
So for wheat, fludarsenal based products such as Prepper seed treatment will cover you very well for all of the seed and soil-borne wheat diseases.
Great. So that's wheat. Is there anything in barley that is different to wheat, or is
Yeah, so you've got to think about your barley seed slightly differently, because there's two seed and soil-borne diseases that are specific to barley: loose smut and leaf stripe. And if we take loose smut in particular, that actually infects the embryo of the seed. So you need a different active that can get right into that seed and target the loose smut in the seed. Right. So something like a tebuconazole-based seed treatment, such as Fountain, would be very effective against loose smut, whereas a pure fludarsenal wouldn't have a great efficacy against that loose smut.
So having a triazole in there increases that loose smut control?
Absolutely, that's right. Yeah.
Right. And are there any rotational positions where seed treatments can also help us?
Absolutely. So if we think about second and third wheats, then the number one concern before growing a second or third wheat should be take-all, which is a fungus totally endemic to UK soils throughout the country here. Our maritime climate is incredibly encouraging to that fungus. So there's very little that can be done from a chemical sense. I mean, you can combat it rotationally by not growing a second or third wheat. You can sow a little bit later, but if you want to best cover yourself for take-all, then there's a seed treatment called Latitude, which has the active Silphiofam, and this is the only active with any efficacy against take-all.
Right, okay.
So to summarise, if you're using certified seed, then you can do that with confidence, knowing there's maximum permitted disease levels for loose smut and ergot. If you're using home safe seed, be sure to have your seed tested and consider your risk. And remember, with your seed, you're investing in fantastic varieties which have great genetics and traits that you want on your farm. So be sure to protect them from diseases which can be on the seed or certainly in your soil. Don't put your seedlings at risk before they've even got out of the ground.
Very good advice.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, Tim. That's great.